Hello everyone, I'm Sandhavini Karunaratna and my registration number is MS20923174. I'm a student of MSc Information Technology, Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology. Today in my video, I'll discuss about one of the trending topics in IT field, and that is different types of DevSecOps concepts and components enhance cloud security. Now let's see how this video flows. First, I'll briefly explain to you about what is cloud security and current cloud security challenges and threats. Then I'll move to the DevSecOps, and then I'll explain how DevSecOps methodology can overcome the cloud security challenges. Then I'll give you an idea about the scope which I'm planning to cover in my video. Then I'll explain the concepts and components I have selected in related to DevSecOps and cloud security. After that, I'll explain 6 pillars of DevSecOps, 6 factors for DevSecOps success in cloud migration, systemic approach followed by NCS to adopt DevSecOps, and finally, I'll explain how DevSecOps is applied in the industry by taking a real-world example. Here I have selected AWS, and I'll explain how it benefits from DevSecOps in related to maximizing security in their cloud platform, and I'll tell you about their DevSecOps based applications. Here you may not have a proper idea about these terms and the concepts, but don't worry about that. I'll explain each and everything in my video. I have divided my introduction into 2 parts, and they are cloud computing security and current security challenges, and DevSecOps and its impact on cloud security. You might think why I am explaining about cloud computing security and current security challenges. According to my viewpoint, before moving to DevSecOps, it is necessary to have a proper understanding about cloud computing and cloud security challenges, because we use DevSecOps methodology to overcome cloud security challenges. Now let's see what is cloud security. Simply, cloud security is the protection from theft, leakage, and detection of data stored online via cloud storage platforms. When we take traditional security mechanisms, those are not strong enough to face all security challenges. Therefore, cloud protection has become one of the main issues for cloud service providers. They must not only please their clients but also comply with the regulatory requirements for the handling of confidential information such as credit card numbers, health information. Now let's see what are the current security challenges associated with cloud. A leading cause of cloud data breaches is misconfigurations of cloud security settings. Cloud security posture management techniques of many companies are insufficient to secure their cloud-based infrastructure from misconfigurations. Another threat is unauthorized access. Cloud-based deployments are beyond the network perimeter and freely available from the public internet, unlike the on-site network of an organization. Although this is an advantage for workers and consumers to access this technology, it also makes it possible for an attacker to obtain unauthorized access to the cloud-based service of an organization. Improperly designed protection or compromised credentials will allow an attacker, potentially without the knowledge of an organization, to gain direct access to their cloud-based storage. Another issue is insecure interfaces or APIs. Usually, cloud service providers provide their clients with a range of APIs and interfaces. These interfaces are usually well documented in order to make them readily accessible for the client. But this causes obvious problems if the interfaces for the cloud-based infrastructure have not been adequately protected by a client. This is a good opportunity for attacker, because an attacker may also use the documentation prepared for the client to detect and manipulate possible methods for accessing confidential data from cloud infrastructure of an enterprise. Hijacking of accounts is another threat to cloud security. Confidential information or features can be accessed by an attacker with an employee's credentials. When an attacker accesses by using employee's credentials, the attacker might be able to access whole storage with full capabilities, full capacity. In addition, companies also lack the capability to detect and respond to these risks efficiently and quickly, because the full storage is on cloud, it is not an on-site storage. Lack of visibility is another threat. The cloud resources are located outside the client's location and operate on infrastructure that the client does not own. As a result, for cloud environments, many conventional tools for obtaining network visibility are not efficient, and some clients lack cloud-focused security tools. This can restrict the capacity of a firm to track and defend their cloud-based resources against attacks. External sharing of data is also another threat to cloud security. Most clouds offer the option of directly inviting a collaborator via email or sharing a link that enables everyone with a URL to access the centralized repository. It is possible to forward the shared connection to someone else, stolen as part of a cyber attack or guessed by a cyber criminal, giving the shared resource unauthorized access. Furthermore, link-based sharing makes it difficult to remove access to only a single shared link user. Another threat is malicious insiders. In a cloud, it is much harder to identify a malicious insider. Business lack control over their network architecture with cloud implementations, rendering many conventional security solutions less efficient. This makes it much harder to identify malicious insiders, combined with the fact that cloud-based technology is accessible directly from the public internet and sometimes suffer from security misconfigurations. Other than those cyber attacks, denial of service attacks also cloud security threats. Based on what I have told earlier, it is necessary to have a proper security enhancing mechanism rather than having only traditional security methodologies for cloud technology. Here, our leader comes. It is DevSecOps. DevSecOps can be taken as most appropriate solution to overcome security threats in cloud. Now let's see what is DevSecOps. There are many definitions and explanations given by different research teams, researchers and different security providers, especially cloud security providers. Here I have selected 3 of the definitions. Okay, let's see what are those. According to Red Hat, DevSecOps means thinking about application and infrastructure security from the start. According to Kyla Matthews, DevSecOps is a methodology similar to DevOps in that both of them are within an agile framework that breaks projects into smaller chunks. According to CSA DevSecOps Working Group, DevSecOps is an approach that addresses the challenges of today's interconnected, rapidly changing security environment with increasingly shortened infrastructure and product life cycles. When we simply look at the concept of DevSecOps, the implementation of DevSecOps aims to guarantee that there's a smooth transition and that security of the application is taken into account from the very beginning, from the scratch, and regularly in the software development lifecycle. At the start of each point, it discusses and raises safety issues and continues to work to protect it. This kind of security is compulsory when migrating to the cloud. A dramatic rise in demand for their products and services has been seen by cloud computing providers such as Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Oracle Cloud, and IBM Cloud. All these companies follow DevSecOps methodologies. While they have been beneficial, many IT businesses have found themselves falling behind because they have struggled to adapt without adding more complexity to their tech portfolios. This implies that their role is not as flexible and it takes much more time to bring new products to the market. Let's see what are the advantages of DevSecOps. DevSecOps eliminates cloud migration related software risk by automating security checks in the 5 cloud R. If the client wants to rehost, refactor, revise, rebuild, or rephase. Reliable DevSecOps tools have been used by most organizations that have had the most efficient transfers to the cloud. There are many other benefits of applying DevSecOps methodologies to ensure cloud security, and those are: it has greater speed and agility for security units. DevSecOps have the ability to adapt to changes and needs quickly. Better cooperation and coordination between teams. More options for automated construction and quality assurance assessments. Early vulnerability detection in code. Assets of team members are released to work on high value work. Now let's see the scope of this video. This video covers different focus areas, concepts available and suggested by researchers and experts in the field. This video covers 6 pillars of DevSecOps studied and published by Cloud Security Alliance DevSecOps Working Group, 6 factors for DevSecOps success in cloud migration by Srinivas, systemic approach followed by NCS to adoption of DevSecOps, and finally I'll take AWS as an industry example and I'll explain how DevSecOps is used in AWS cloud. Okay, now let's see 6 pillars of DevSecOps. The Cloud Security Alliance DevSecOps Working Group has published the 6 pillars of cloud security which are important for an organization for integrating DevSecOps in related to the 6 pillars described in the reflexive security framework. First pillar, collective responsibility. In this pillar, all the stakeholders hold responsibility. Even though the cloud security officer leads the entire team, all the parties involved in holds responsibility and they must be aware about their contribution and responsibility for organization's security stance. Other than being aware about security responsibilities, both end users and developers should practice DevSecOps methodology during the cloud development because they are the first layer of defense against security threats. In the technology environment, there is a massive skill and talent gap. Effectiveness is going to be limited without pan-organizational collaboration to implement security. Only by cooperation, security can be accomplished. It is important for the members of all functional teams to report possible anomalies, a security aware and collaborative culture. Third pillar is pragmatic implementation. It is necessary to select tools and techniques which are suited for the implementation to provide security for the applications. All the SDLCs are unique from one another and it is not appropriate to use the same security tools and techniques for every model. Likewise, it is necessary to identify the tools, techniques and mechanisms which can be used in DevSecOps methodology to establish the security of an application. Many companies create complex tools and techniques which are difficult to operate and fail the development process. In order to overcome this matter, it is necessary to pay attention to the pragmatic implementation. Fourth pillar is bridging compliance and development. It is hard to convert risk-related criteria into security requirements that can be easily calculated over time. Identifying relevant controls and then converting them into effective software steps, including identifying vulnerabilities where these controls can be automated and calculated to enhance efficiency, is the key to resolve this gap between compliance and development. Fifth pillar is automation. Manual coding can easily lead to result software that are poor in performance, insecure and unstable. Therefore, it may need to rebuild the applications to overcome the issues. Hence, automating the process can overcome this matter easily. But automated security checks may cause problems such as delay or failures. Those problems can be solved by process changes or semi-automated approaches. Sixth pillar is measure, monitor, report and action. Deployment frequency, vulnerability patch time, automatically checked percentage of code and automated tests per application are some of the most important matrices to track in a DevSecOps environment. At the right time, the findings must be constantly assessed, tracked, recorded and acted upon by the correct individuals. Those are the 6 pillars of DevSecOps, and 6 pillars shows the loopholes in secure development within the scope of DevSecOps methodology. Now let's move to 6 factors for DevSecOps success in cloud migration. According to the writing of Srivanas, he explained 6 factors which need to be considered to achieve success when migrating to cloud applying DevSecOps methodology. Other than to Srivanas, Synology company also described that similar components are important for achieving success in DevSecOps approach. Analyzing code. Continuous changes in software security during the process of cloud migration need to be made. This means that looking at the code and revising it for several times. This may also influence review of code, quality assurance, and cycles of delivery. Automated testing. Time and resources can be saved by automated testing. This is also explained under 6 pillars. Automated testing is a vital part of the framework of DevSecOps, and it helps to streamline the processes of server assessment, helping to get to the cloud faster. Managing change. DevSecOps allows teams to be connected and made aware of what everyone is doing. Helping to navigate the transition is an important factor. It helps to fix any problems and overcome any vulnerabilities by keeping everybody aware of the changes. This is somewhat similar to collaboration and integration in 6 pillars. Monitoring compliance. In a software or cloud company, monitoring will always play a key role. Regulations assist with the code implementation can lead to have several modifications. Monitoring compliance can help in audits also. Investigating threats. In order to define the security readiness of an organization, threat investigation is necessary. Tracking on potential threats is crucial so that it is easy to handle them as quickly as possible. Personal training. It is important to know the team and what they are capable of and their skills. Making sure they know the newest strategies is even more important. Personal trainings can be conducted to make them knowledgeable and make them aware of the newest trends. Systemic approach followed by NCS to adoption of DevSecOps. When designing the DevSecOps solution, the environment of the client, their existing processes, and the goals of implementation or the reason to adopt cloud must be considered. NCS believes that the adoption of DevSecOps approach is a shift to the culture of software practices. To take full advantage of this implementation, customers need to adapt to this transition. The image now you are seeing on the screen shows the systemic approach used by NCS for adapt cloud computing with DevSecOps methodology. The journey of agency is divided into 5 steps, and they are idealization, develop architecture, implementation, fine-tune process, and enablement. Now let's move to the industry example. Here I have selected DevSecOps in AWS Cloud as my industry example. Enterprises are switching to DevSecOps from DevOps. Transparency, process governance, vulnerability mitigation, and deviation responsiveness are generated by this security-centric approach or DevSecOps in the implementation process of an application. The DevSecOps model includes security modules and the continuous improvement and development of the pipeline, which involves security operations, automation, and auditing. Therefore, organizations tend to combine security awareness and automate process for their application development. Among cloud service providers, AWS is one of the cloud service provider which integrate DevSecOps methodology with their cloud implementation process. Setting up and maintaining a scalable and strong IT system or physical data storage on site by a company is costly and time wasting. Also, it needs experts to manage and maintain the on-site system. But AWS DevSecOps provides solution to that matter. It is not only saves time but also cost effective. In order to satisfy business demands, teams should be concentrate their energy and resources on developing healthy, high-performing applications. These things can be easily achieved by AWS DevSecOps. This figure shows how the AWS DevSecOps services can be used for code integration and code development automation on AWS. Let's see these AWS services in detail. Developers use the AWS Cloud9 SDK to write code. AWS Cloud9 is a cloud-based integrated development environment that lets developers to write, run, and debug their code with using a browser. They just need a browser for this process. It includes a code editor, debugger, and terminal with customizable plugins. Developers commit their code to AWS Code Commit. AWS Code Commit is a fully managed source code service that hosts secure Git-based repositories. It makes it easier for teams to collaborate on code in a secure and highly scalable ecosystem. AWS Code Build is a service where developers can compile their source code, perform integration for multiple SCMs, and create build artifacts. It is configured using build spec.yml file where all instructions related to integration, compilation, and build are declared. It provides prepackaged build environments for popular programming languages and build tools such as Apache Maven, Gradle, and can also create a customized build environment. AWS S3 buckets are used for strong and final build artifacts and/or binaries. AWS Code Deploy is a service that pulls binary artifacts from S3 buckets and deploy them in pre-provisioned AWS environments like EC2, Elastic Beanstalk, and ECS. Code Deploy is fully configurable using appspec.yml file. Finally, the developers have the AWS code pipeline, which orchestrates the various builds and deploy stages defined in Code Build and Code Deploy, giving them a fully managed continuous delivery service. Okay, now let's see what are the AWS DevSecOps cloud products. Some of the AWS DevSecOps cloud products are AWS Code Pipeline, AWS Cloud Watch Alarm, AWS Cloud Trail, AWS Lambda, AWS Config, AWS S3, AWS Cloud Formation. These are some of the DevSecOps cloud products. Now we have come to the last part of my video. Let's see a summary. The demand for cloud computing is increasing in every instance, and new innovations related to cloud are launching and experimenting continuously and daily. The high rate of cloud adoption opens doors to security threats, since all the data is managed and passed through internet and accessed remotely. Mainly due to lack of knowledge, users become vulnerable to security threats. Within these few years, many concepts have been introduced and experimented to overcome these security issues. Among them, DevSecOps have become one of the strongest methodology which enhance cloud security. Different organizations use DevSecOps concept and unique approaches to apply DevSecOps into their cloud applications. Also, they concern different areas based on their applications. My video discussed about few main concepts and components associated with applying DevSecOps to cloud computing applications, and those are 6 pillars of DevSecOps, 6 factors for DevSecOps success in cloud migration, systemic approach followed by NCS to adoption of DevSecOps, and finally I took an industry example and explained how that company used DevSecOps in their solutions or their applications. There I have selected DevSecOps in AWS Cloud. I hope you have gained more knowledge and new knowledge on DevSecOps concepts. Here also I have included references if you would like to read more about DevSecOps, you can go through these links. When I was preparing this video, I have referred those links. Okay, now we have come to the end of my video. Thank you for watching.